It's shortly after 2:30 p.m. Belgian Sabena Flight 571 has departed from Vienna headed for Tel Aviv, Israel. At the helm are Captain Reginald Levy and his co-pilot. It's the 50-year-old captain's birthday, and his wife Dora is one of the passengers. The couple has plans for a special celebration when they land in Israel. Unbeknownst to Captain Levy, there are 4 passengers on board who also have plans of their own. Flight attendant Nellie Gross and her crew smile as they work their way through the aisles, serving refreshments to the 90 passengers on board. 20 minutes into the flight, the calm is broken.
This is a hijack! Let's go! Let's go! Everybody down! This is a hand grenade! Let's down!
4 armed hijackers charge through the aisles brandishing guns and grenades, threatening to blow up the plane. The lead hijacker, Ali Abu Snina, bangs on the locked cockpit door, demanding entry. To avoid escalation, the pilots reluctantly open the door. He enters the cockpit and, pointing a gun to Levy's head, announces that he is a member of Black September, the Palestinian militant group. That alone is enough to make any pilot tremble, but Levy holds his nerve and stays calm. As the other 3 hijackers patrol the aisles of the plane, the passengers are shocked and terrified. The flight from hell has just begun. May 8, 1972. With the armed and agitated Abu Snina standing over his shoulder, Captain Reginald Levy remains calm, piloting the plane. Affectionately known as Reg, the Liverpool-born captain of Jewish descent, is a World War II veteran and flew many missions as a bomber pilot for the Royal Air Force. He has already tripped the silent alarm, and the hijack distress signal has been received in Israel. With brazen cheek, the captain calms his passengers down by saying, "As you can see, we have friends on board." Prime Minister Golda Meir and Minister of Defence Moshe Dayan are told a Belgian Sabena has been hijacked. 23 Israelis are among the 90 passengers, and the plane will soon arrive in Israel. Israeli Defense Forces General David Elazar and Intelligence Chief Aharon Yariv are summoned. They consider all their options and come to one conclusion: Sayeret Matkal. Known simply as the Unit, the most excellent special forces in the world are notified of the situation. 2 men will lead the unit's response to the crisis. Unknown at the time, the 2 men are future Prime Ministers of Israel. One is Ehud Barak, the most decorated soldier in the history of Israel. He will command the operation. The other, a young, fiercely brave upstart named Benjamin Netanyahu. The Sayeret Matkal begin planning their response immediately. While the Commandos formulate their plan, the clever pilots deliberately reduce the speed of the plane to buy Israel as much reaction time as possible. As the plane makes its way to Israel, the hijackers make their way through the passengers, separating them. Teen hijacker Therese Halsar brandishes her weapon while picking out the Israeli and Jewish passengers using their passports. As she works the aisle seat by seat, terror grips the passengers. The 18-year-old is loud and in command, ordering Jewish passengers to the back of the plane. Hours into the crisis, air traffic control clears the runway at Lod Airport. The hijacked plane climbs out of the sky and touches down in Tel Aviv, Israel. Abu Snina wastes no time in making demands to Israeli authorities. The hijacker demands the immediate unconditional release of 315 Palestinians from Israeli prisons. To Israeli authorities, the 315 prisoners are terrorists. Releasing them is out of the question, but they decide to stall for time. With both sides determined to get their way, the fierce standoff reaches boiling point, the lives of innocent passengers and flight crew hanging in the balance. As the sun sets over Israel on day one of the crisis, distressed relatives of the hostage passengers pack the airport, demanding the Israeli government accede to the hijacker demands so that their loved ones can be released unharmed. The media clamour as the spectacle unfolds. Under cover of darkness, a handful of Sayeret Matkal commandos approach the plane on the tarmac undetected. They sabotage the hydraulic system to immobilise the plane and then let out air, leaving several flat tyres. With their handiwork complete, they retreat into the darkness of the night. By morning, the hijackers are increasingly uneasy when the pilots tell them that the plane has a few mechanical problems and will not be able to take off without them being fixed. At 12 noon, the hijackers decide to send Israel a final warning. They dispatch Captain Levy from the plane carrying a sample of explosives to show the Israeli authorities that they are dead serious. If their demands are not met, they can and will blow up the plane. But in their attempt to intimidate and pressure the Israeli authorities, the hijackers have unwittingly sent the captain to be debriefed by the Sayeret Matkal. He tells them everything: how many hijackers are present, what type of weapons they have, what clothing they are wearing, and that the hijackers kept the emergency doors slightly open to allow fresh air into the plane. After the debrief, Israel sends the captain back to the plane. As soon as he arrives, Israeli authorities contact the hijackers to tell them what they want to hear. They inform them that after meeting with the captain and seeing the explosives, the Israeli government has decided to release the Palestinian prisoners as demanded. They announce that the prisoners are being released and are expected to arrive at the airport by sunset. As the day progresses, Israeli authorities continue to feed the unsuspecting hijackers with false information. An Arabic-speaking Mossad agent posing as a released Palestinian prisoner comes on the phone, ecstatic, thanking and praising the hijackers in Arabic for securing his release. At this, the hijackers are overjoyed, believing they had successfully strong-armed the Israeli government. Not long after, the Mossad begin openly parading people posing as released prisoners onto another plane in the distance. The hijackers fall for the ruse. Convinced that everything is going according to plan, the hijackers are eager to depart Tel Aviv, Israel, for the Egyptian capital, Cairo. Israeli authorities had promised them that mechanics and technicians would be sent to the plane to repair the faulty hydraulic systems and fix the flat tyres. At 4 p.m., 30 hours into the crisis, 2 trucks carrying men dressed in white technician overalls approach the plane on the tarmac. The repair technicians arrive and appear to begin repairing the plane. But all is not as it seems. The repair technicians are not actually repairmen. They are Israeli commandos in disguise. Concealed under their white overalls are Beretta handguns. Suddenly, they storm the plane. A sustained burst of gunfire erupts. After 90 seconds, the guns go silent. 2 male hijackers lay dead, and 2 female hijackers are captured, alive. With lethal force, the Sayeret Matkal had brought a decisive end to the crisis. The operation is hailed as a resounding success. The Sayeret Matkal playbook will eventually be copied by special forces all over the world. Benjamin Netanyahu suffers a bullet wound to his bicep, standard for his line of work. Belgian passenger Miriam Anderson is not so fortunate. The 22-year-old is critically wounded in the crossfire and later succumbs. She is the only hostage fatality from among the passengers and crew. Therese and her surviving conspirator, Rima Tanis, who was 21 at the time of the hijacking, would both be released a decade later in 1983 as part of a prisoner exchange deal between Israel and the Palestinian Authority. The investigation later found that the four hijackers, 21-year-olds Ali Abu Snina and Rima Tanis, 20-year-old Abed Aziz, and the teenager Therese Halsa had not known each other prior. They were introduced to each other and became acquainted the day before they hijacked the plane. The impressionable youths were not the masterminds of the hijacking. They were cogs on a wheel, groomed for terror, and then used to achieve a political objective.